On the third night, Scheherazade continued her tale. As the merchant faced the demon beneath the lonely tree, a mysterious old man approached from the desert night.
When it was night and Scheherazade was in bed with the king, Dinarzade said to her sister Scheherazade, "Please, if you are not sleepy, tell us one of your lovely little tales to while away the night." The king added, "Let it be the conclusion of the merchant's story." Scheherazade replied, "As you wish." "I heard, O happy king, that as the merchant and the man with the deer sat talking, another old man approached with 2 black hounds, and when he reached them, he greeted them, and they returned his greeting. Then he asked them about themselves, and the man with the deer told him the story of the merchant and the demon, how the merchant had sworn to return on New Year's Day, and how the demon was waiting to kill him. He added that when he himself heard the story, he swore never to leave until he saw what would happen between the merchant and the demon. When the man with the 2 dogs heard the story, he was amazed, and he too swore never to leave them until he saw what would happen between them. Then he questioned the merchant, and the merchant repeated to him what had happened to him with the demon. While they were engaged in conversation, a 3rd old man approached and greeted them, and they returned his greeting. He asked, "Why do I see the 2 of you sitting here with this merchant between you looking abject, sad, and dejected?" They told him the merchant's story and explained that they were sitting and waiting to see what would happen to him with the demon. When he heard the story, he sat down with them, saying, "By God, I too, like you, will not leave until I see what happens to this man with the demon." As they sat, conversing with one another, they suddenly saw the dust rising from the open country, and when it cleared, they saw the demon approaching with a drawn steel sword in his hand. He stood before them without greeting them, yanked the merchant with his left hand, and, holding him fast before him, said, "Get ready to die." The merchant and the 3 old men began to weep and wail. But dawn broke, and morning overtook Scheherazade, and she lapsed into silence. Then Dinarzade said to her sister, "Sister, what a lovely story!" Scheherazade replied, "What is this compared with what I shall tell you tomorrow night? It will be even better. It will be more wonderful, delightful, entertaining, and delectable if the king spares me and lets me live." The king was all curiosity to hear the rest of the story, and said to himself, "By God, I will not have her put to death until I hear the rest of the story and find out what happened to the merchant with the demon. Then I will have her put to death the next morning, as I did with the others." Then he went out to attend to the affairs of his kingdom, and when he saw Schaherazade's father, he treated him kindly and showed him favors, and the vizier was amazed. When night came, the king went home, and when he was in bed with Scheherazade, Dinarzade said, "Sister, if you are not sleepy, tell us one of your lovely little tales to while away the night." Scheherazade replied, "With the greatest pleasure."